Gilgulim, shiur number 9. We are in our first shiur of the year 5779. Shiur number 9. Just a quick recap of what we've done so far. We've learned until now that there is 5 parts to the soul. Right? And before we start, our shiur is Lazecher Nishmat Morina Rabbeinu of Tzion Bracha, of Tzion Chaviv. Jamila, it's their R.Shalom, Daniel ben Rojana, Ishto, the Margarita Ubar, לזיווג הגון לגבי חי בן ראובן וליער, ילד מרים, וגם מפרש מלאה על מרגריטה. השם יברך לכולנו בברכה והצלחה וישועות גדולות. So we learned until now there's 5 parts to the neshama: nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. Right? In short, we call it nar nechi. Nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida. Nar nechi. These 5 parts of the neshama correspond to the 5 worlds, right? Atzilut, Biriya, Yetzira, and Asiya. What's the 5th one correspond to? There's a 5th world called Ak. Okay? Now these 5 parts of the soul also correspond to the 5 parts of God's name. There's 4. The tip of the Yud is also considered a part, right? So there's Yud K, Vav K. The Yud itself is a tip. That's the 5th world, okay? It's the Yechidah. So all of our mission in this world is to reach all 5 parts of our soul. It's like a video game. You have to level up. You start off in the lowest level, Nefesh, and you have to work yourself up to Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechidah. We learned that every part of the soul, let's take the Nefesh for example, that's the lowest part. The Nefesh also has Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechidah. Also has the 5 parts. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, Yechidah. And each one has 10 sefirot. Right? 10 sefirot. 1, 2. And in each one, depending on your short neshama, let's say you were born with a neshama that came from the sefirah of Yesod. You have to work your way up. This is only with the nefesh until which sefirah? Keter, right? It's only in the world of Asiyah. It's only with the nefesh has the special thing. Why does the nefesh have this special thing? That no matter where you are, you have to work your way up to the sefirah of Keter. You're in Yesod, you have to work your way up to Keter. Keter, everything to Keter. Why? Because in the world of Asiyah, which is where our nefesh comes from, there's a lot of klipa. There's a lot of sitra achra. There's a lot of yetzer hara over there. So if you're going to work your way, let's say you come from the Yesod, from the sphere of Yesod, and you leave it like that, there is a chashash, a suspicion that the Satan will come and ruin it. That's why you have to take your soul and reach everything up to the world of Keter. That's only in the world of Asiyah. But let's say when you get your ruach, you don't have to do that anymore. If you want, you could change your shorsh neshama, but you don't have to. Okay? How do you level up? 2 ways: learning Torah and fulfilling mitzvot. How many mitzvot do you have to fulfill to level up? We said you have to do all 248 mitzvot. With every part of your soul, you have to fulfill all the mitzvot. Okay? You fulfill it b'maaseh, in action, b'dibur, in speech, it means learning about it, b'machshava, in thought, b'kavana, with the proper meditation, and the last part is b'ru'uta deliba. What's ru'uta deliba? With hitlahavut. What's hitlahavut? With enthusiasm, correct, okay? So that's more. Now, we also learned, since we're not the first time inside this world, and since Mashiach has to come one day, if all of us are going to keep on, you're going to die, and God forbid, you're going to start working from the beginning, Hashem did what? Hashem did it that our soul could split. A person's nefesh could go to John, let's call him Yonatan, his ruach will go to Shmuel, his neshama will go to David, his chaya will go to Abraham, and so on and so forth. So you could be walking around today, we learned, this is where we ended off in the first chapter, and you could have a neshama inside of you. I mean, you're not a nefesh, you're a neshama, and you don't even know. Why does Hashem do that? To speed up the process of the tikkun, so Mashiach could come as fast as possible. And we also learned that all of our problems we have in our life, all of our tikkun, all of our mission, all the things we go through, from the day that we were born until the last day that we breathe, it all has to do with our prior reincarnations. Understand? We're all working basically on somebody else's game. Where the last person left off, we have to continue and finish the job, okay? Good. Now we're starting Hagdama Bet, the second chapter, the second Hagdama in Shar Gilgulim of the Ari HaKadosh. He says like this: the Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama. We have a Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama. Right? These are the bottom three parts. This one needs all the tikkun. The other parts, Chaya and Yechidah, barely have a tikkun. What's going on? Okay, I'm the Nefesh, Ruach, and the Neshama. The Ari HaKadosh says, when do they start going inside a person? Let's say it's the first time a person is alive inside this world. It's his first time he's born. You start for the first time. Does the Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama go inside a person based on his age? Or he goes inside of a person based on his actions? What's the most important thing over here? As a person gets older, he becomes more mature automatically, right? You can't say that a kid that's 7 years old belongs in the class even with a kid 6 years old, right? It's a totally different mind. The fact that you see a kid becoming more mature, does that mean that parts of his soul are coming more inside of him? Or we're going to say that a child doesn't receive more parts of his neshama until he doesn't do mitzvot. What does it matter? Says the Ari HaKadosh. So the Ari says, Beseder kinisat nefesh ruach neshama be'adam. In the order of how the nefesh, ruach, and neshama come inside a person, betchilat gilguleihem, in the beginning of your reincarnation. Bepam harishona, Gabriel, in the first time you come to this world, hundreds of years ago. Kemo sheitbaer be'ezrat Hashem. Hine be'et shenolad gufa adam, when a person's body is born inside this world, ve'yotze la'avir ha'olam, and you come out to the avir, to the open avir, to the air, to the environment of this world, olam asiyah, the materialistic world. On the get-go, nichneset bo ha-nefesh shelo, your nefesh goes inside of you. So when you're born, automatically, what are you born with, says Dari? With a nefesh, the smallest part. Ve'im yuchshiru ma'asav, and if a person will do the right actions, so we see over here, what does the Ari point out? That you have to do the right actions. It's not just a person's age. You also have to do mitzvot. Yiskeh, you will merit. V'yikanes bo haruach, your ruach will go inside of you. B'tashlum shnat 13, by the time a person turns 13. So the Ari HaKadosh says, if a person, when a person's born, when you're born with a nefesh. After you're born until the age of 13, if the boy, before his bar mitzvah even, if he does mitzvot, masim tovim, if the parents train him in brachot, tefillin even, halachically speaking, a child could start wearing tefillin as long as his body is clean. Even if he's 11 years old, he could start wearing tefillin with a bracha. He wears tzitzit, he wakes up in the morning, he's modani, he does nitilat yadayim, all these kind of stuff. He's a good boy. By the time he comes 13, once he hits 13, what does he get? At the age of 13, his ruach, when he becomes bar mitzvah. The Ari HaKadosh continues, Sha'az nikra ish gamur. At this point, at the age of 30, he's called something, he's called an ish. An ish, what does the Torah say? Ish asher ruach bo, right? There's a pasuk in the Torah where Hashem says, Ish asher ruach bo. Pharaoh, when he saw Joseph, when Joseph interpreted his dream, he said he's a man that he has ruach. When does a person become a man? When he's 13. And what did Pharaoh say? Ish asher, he didn't say nefesh bo, neshama bo. He said ish asher ruach bo. So you can't get your ruach until you're 13 years old. Even if the boy, even he's like the Gaon of Vilna, he's 10 years old, he already finished Shas. Doesn't matter. You cannot get your ruach until you're 13 years old because you're not a ish yet. V'im yichshuru od ma'asav, and if he becomes even better, by the time he's 13, he does more mitzvot. Ve'elach nichneset bo nishama betashlum shnat ha'esrim, when he becomes 20. So if a person is zocher, when he becomes 20 years old, he already gets what? He gets what? His neshama. So the age of 20 is a very important age, even in the Kabbalistic world. When you're 20 years old, if you're a new soul for the first time you're in this world, and if you did mitzvot, masim tovim, when you're 20 years old, you're able to get your neshama. What does that mean? When a person gets his neshama, he doesn't sin anymore. If a person is zocheh for a neshama, he doesn't sin. Neshamot don't sin. Okay? If a person is... Many people never reach this level in one reincarnation. It's very rare. Okay? People, for example, you see big tzaddikim who never sinned in their life. How is that possible? It must be they were born with a neshama already. Now, if it's the first time you were born inside this world, first Gilgul, you're a neshama chadasha, if you did mitzvot u'masim tovim and learned Torah, by the age of 20, you could already reach your neshama. How do we know 20 years old is an important age? The Gemara says, Masechet Kiddushin, Amar Rabbi Ishmael, until the age of 20, Hashem waits for a person to get married. If he's 20 years old and he's not married, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Chas Shalom sits on his throne, he curses a person, he says, Tipach Hatzmotav. Why does Hashem wait until he's 20 years old? What's important to the age of 20? If you didn't learn Shar Gilgulim, you'll never know. At the age of 20, a person becomes a total and complete man because he reaches the level of what? Neshama. So until he gets his neshama, Hashem waits. He's not ready yet. He didn't start his neshama yet. Once he gets his neshama, how are you going to get your neshama without being married? HaKadosh Baruch Hu waits until 20. Now where else do we see 20 plays a very important role? Hashem said in the desert that people that were below the age of 20, they will go inside Israel. People that were above the age of 20 at the time of the spies, they're not going to go inside Israel. Why did Hashem say specifically the age of 20? What's important? If you look inside, we also see in the Gemara, Masechet Baba Batra, the age of 20, before that, a person is not chayav b'dinei shamayim. Why at the age of 20? Because once you're 20, technically speaking, you're already supposed to reach the level of neshama. Once you reach neshama, you're a person who every single one of your actions, Hashem counts like a diamond. You're held accountable for everything. Before the age of 20, you don't have your neshama. Hashem says, okay, I'm going to let him go. Even a nefesh and a ruach is not enough to get him punished. But once you get your neshama and then you sin, especially in the desert, the generation of Dor Midbar, then chas v'shalom, you're held accountable. But let's say a person is born, he gets his nefesh, and he did mitzvot or masim tovim at the age of 13, he also got his ruach. And a person, he wasn't able to finish the ruach before he get his neshama, and he died. He didn't get his neshama at the age of 20. Why? He didn't do the mitzvot he needed to do. He died before he got his neshama. He died, all he was able to get was his nefesh and the ruach. And the ruach itself, he didn't finish fixing. What happens then? Lo tikanes bo neshama v'yeh bo nefesh ruach. But that body, when he gets up in the resurrection, will only have a nefesh and a ruach. The neshama already goes to someone else. V'ken, and so too, im lo tiken ta nefesh legamrei, if a person wasn't zocheh, and he only was able to live with a nefesh, the smallest part of your soul, ein bo rak nefesh bilvad, when you get up in the resurrection of the dead, you only have a nefesh. V'yishaem mibli ruach neshama, you don't have a ruach and a neshama, bar minan. V'yisharu ruach v'neshama ba'atar yado. What happens to the ruach and neshama then? Okay, a person doesn't get his nefesh. You only fixed your nefesh, or your person only was able to be zocheh to have a nefesh. What happens to your ruach and your neshama? The Ari says it stays in a certain place. that only Hashem knows. Like Kadosh Baruch Hu, the taman is the man duchtayu lekol chad ve'echad minhon, and Hashem leaves it in a certain place until it's time for them to come out. What's that certain place? R.Shimon Agassi explains in the Bnei Aaron, every time a person is born, he's born with the ability to have all parts of his soul. If it's his first reincarnation, first time he's inside this world. But a person cannot have all the parts of his neshama in one shot. You can't be a baby with all nefesh, ruach, neshama, chai, yechidah. So Hashem puts inside of you a nefesh, and your ruach and your neshama stay in the world's birya yetzirah. What does it do over there? It acts like an angel. It acts like an angel. The higher your soul is, the higher sphera it comes from, the more it's able to be an angel. That's why it says by Eliyahu Hanavi, Chai Hashem asher anochi hamadati hayom. Eliyahu Hanavi Hashem, I swear to you, Hashem, he said, just like I stood in front of you. So the Ari HaKadosh says, when did you stand in front of Hashem? So the Ari HaKadosh explains that Eliyahu Hanavi, before he was born, his soul was already an angel. It acted as an angel in the world of Yetzirah. And then it was born. So if when a person is born for the first time, his ruach and his neshama stay in the worlds of Biriyah and Yetzirah. They act as angels. The more zechut he has, the higher the world he could be an angel. And then when Hashem feels those parts of the soul already, it sends it down into this world. Okay? If a person gets his nefesh, and he never was able to fix his nefesh, his ruach and neshama stay up there as angels. Until Hashem feels it's ready to go into another person. But that guy who passes away, what is he only zocheh to? A nefesh. What does he get up in the resurrection of the dead with? His nefesh. His ruach neshama already go where? To a different body. Okay? It splits. The soul splits. What?
Talking about Kisei HaKavod.
Kisei HaKavod is if a person is zocheh, he gets to be an angel in the world of Bria. But if he's not zocheh, he's going to be an angel in the world of Yetzirah. But the Bnei Aaron says, what?
In Yetzirah you have the ruach. So neshama is in Bria. So that's Kisei HaKavod.
That's true. But not every neshama has the zchut to act, to stay in the same level with the angels in the world of Bria. Okay?
They say the neshamot coming out from Kisei HaKavod, not out of Kisei HaKavod.
So
They're all coming from the face.
When whatever you just said is a very deep concept. When it says the neshamot come out from the Kisei HaKavod, we know there's also souls that come from the world of Atzilut. The world of Atzilut is above the Kisei HaKavod. Am I right or wrong? Kisei HaKavod is Bria. What does that mean? The souls come out from the Kisei HaKavod. The Chaim Vital explains in Shari Kedusha, there are three levels of worlds, like three layers. The first one is called Machatzev HaSfirot, the system of Sfirot. Above that, it's like you have in your body three layers. First you have your bones. On top of your bones, what goes? Your veins and your sinews. And on top of your veins and your sinews, you have your skin, right? That's called the three machatzevs. The three systems. The innermost, the bones, think of that as the machatzev sfirot. Above that is the machatzev nishamot. That's the machatzev kisei hakavod. And above that is the machatzev melachim. The machatzev of the angels. It's the most outer one, okay? So when we say it's the kisei hakavod, it's what it's really talking about, that our nishamot come from the second machatzev. It's coming from the world of Atzilut B'riyat Yetzirah that's mitlabesh on top of Atzilut B'riyat Yetzirah of Machatzev HaSfirot. And since it's the second one, you could also call it Bria, Beklalut. And Bria is what? Kisei HaKavod. But that Bria has Atzilut B'riyat Yetzirah too. Okay? It's a very deep concept. I don't want to get into it right now. But there's Nishamot that can also be, that come from Olam HaAtzilut also. Nadav and Avihu, Yosef HaTzadik, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hananiah, these were all Ziyarai Ilah, Eliyahu Hanavi. He's a very high neshama. They didn't come from Bria Yitzira Asiyah. They came from the world of Atzilut. And in one sense, all of our chayot, all of our parts of our neshama called chaya, has to come from Olam Atzilut also. Okay? But it comes from Machatzef neshamot. Which Bechlalut it's called, Bechlalut in general it's called Olam Kisei HaKavod. Okay? But it's be'ovi, not be'orech. It's ba'ovi. Okay? So, that means our nishamot can act as angels before they come down to this world. The more they act as angels, the more they become spiritual. That means when it's going to be born, they're going to have a stronger sense of avodat Hashem. Why? Because before they were born, Gabriel, they already served as what? As angels. That's why you could have two nishamot that come out of the malchut, and really one of them is older than the other one, but since it stopped in the world of Bria, for example, to serve as an angel, it was born second. We're going to learn later on that some souls don't have the zechut to be born. They don't have the zechut to be born. They don't have the merit to be born. So what does Hashem do? It waits for another soul to be born and it comes out with it. Now, which soul should be older when it's born? Which neshama? The one that it came out in the merit of, right? But since those souls stop in the world of Birya and Yitzirah to act as angels, they're born not first, second. So you could have sometimes people that listen to other people, and those guys are younger. So how do you listen to this guy? He's a young guy. So it's really, he's older than him. So why does he listen to him? Because when they came out when they were born, those souls stayed in the world of Birya and Yitzirah and acted as angels. So really, it's an older neshama. It just stayed in the world of Birya and Yitzirah to act as an angel.
Just want to clarify for myself, okay?
Okay.
We spoke about the nefesh coming down.
Okay.
Now, whenever he doesn't have his ruach and neshama yet, why? Because they're staying in their own places wherever they are.
Right, they're staying in the world of Birya and Yitzirah. Hashem is keeping them until it's ready to come down.
But now, the second phase, you said that they're going to a different barn now.
Yes.
I see two different scenarios now.
Let's call it Moshe. Moshe is over here, right? Moshe is born with a nefesh. Okay, it's his first Gilgul. First time he came to this world. He wasn't able to finish the nefesh. He dies. Okay? Moshe dies. When Moshe gets up, and let's say he only fixed 70% of the nefesh. When Moshe is going to get up in the resurrection of the dead, he's only going to get up with the 70% of the nefesh that he fixed. The rest, the 30%, is going to go right now to Aharon. Okay? To get fixed. If Aharon is zocheh to fix the rest of the 30% of the nefesh, if he's zocheh, then he will get the ruach that's waiting for him in Birya and Yitzirah. That's acting as an angel right now. Okay? Now, it could be that those souls are just standing there and not acting as angels too. They're just waiting over there. Till Hashem says, go down. It's a zechut to act as an angel. Like for Eliyahu Hanavi, for example. He said, Chaya Anochi, Asher Anochi Hamadti Hayom. I swear in the name of Hashem that I already stood in front of him. What did he stand in front of Hashem? When he was an angel. Before he was born, he was already an angel. Then after he passed away, what did he turn into? Also an angel. The same thing with Chanoch, that he turned into Malach Memtet. He was already the Malach Memtet before he was born. Malach Matat. And then he turned into Malach Matat after he passed away. He was really already Malach Matat. So then he turned into him. Malach Matat turned into Chanoch.
Then I have a question, like, what's the big deal? He was already a malach.
In Chinami, what's the big deal already? When you learn the secrets of the Torah, you understand it's already not a big deal. It's not really a big deal.
Oh, it's supposed to make you go even... It's a bigger deal.
That's exactly what it does, though, at the end of the day. Could you imagine a person is born? Hashem says, you're such a beautiful neshama, wait for me in the world of Bria. Be an angel for a little bit. What is zechut? You're already an angel in front of Hashem. And then you come down to this world, you have a certain sense of Avodah Hashem. It's a very big thing. It's mizachek your neshama. If you have a zechut. Not everybody has that zechut. Many people don't have that zechut. We're going to learn Rav Chaim Vital, the writer of the Torah Hasod. He was the youngest out of all of his friends. But the Ari says, because of you, they were all born. So why am I the youngest? He said, because before you were born, Hashem made you make a quick stop in the worlds of Birya and Yitzirah. And over there, you were an angel for a couple of months. And after that, you were born. And they were already born. They didn't have the zechut to stay as the angels. That's why you're much younger than all of them. But really, you're much older than them. Okay? So there's such a thing like that. Okay? כיוון שלא נתקן, ואומנם, אם לא תיקן את הנפש לגמרי פעם אחת ונפטר מן העולם, if you didn't finish your nefesh, God forbid, and a person passes away, Moshe passes away, and he doesn't finish his nefesh, אז צריך שתחזור הנפש ההיא בגלגול עד כמה פעמים. How many times does your nefesh have to come back till it gets fixed? It could come back 1,000 times until it gets fixed. עד שתזדחך כל זרחה לגמרי. As long as a person didn't on purpose to have kids, he wasn't a kofer and he wasn't an apikoris, he could come back 1,000,000 times. Va'as afalpi, even Menashe, the king Menashe, who killed 1,000 Jews a day, even he came back in a Gilgul. Even he came back and he killed 1,000 Jews a day. It said he filled Yerushalayim with the blood of the Jewish people. Even he came back as a Gilgul. Even his son, Ammon, he was the king of Yehuda only for 2 years, and he took his mother. And he did shtiyot with her. And the Gemara says, she said to him, do you have any pleasure by being with the person that you came out of? He says, I don't have any pleasure. I'm just doing it to be mored against my king. Just to rebel. Even he has a tikkun. But Yecheskel, their grandfather, Achizkiyahu HaMelech, when he didn't want to have kids and get married, what did the prophet Yeshaya tell him? Met ata velo techiyeh, meta b'olam hazeh velo techiyeh olam haba. And he was a tzaddik. They have a tikkun, and their grandfather, who was an actual tzaddik, Chizkiyahu HaMelech, he was about to lose everything. So we see whatever Hashem sees in us is different than what we see in ourselves. The sins of Menashe and Ammon were in some ways less than what Chizkiyahu wanted to do. At least Menashe and Ammon had kids. And we see that from the king Ammon, who was with his mother, which the Gemara says a person naturally hates his mother. I mean, in that way. He naturally hates him. The king Ammon had a son, Yeshayahu, who was supposed to be Mashiach. He had a son. You know who his son was? He reached the level of David HaMelech in Kiddusha. It says, like him, no ever king did Teshuvah. Like him, nobody ever did. The king Yeshaya. Could you imagine such a thing? How from a father like that came a son like this? It's not what we see in ourselves. It's what Hashem sees in us. Okay? We got to do our ishtadlut. You never know. One of us over here could be a spark of the king of Ammon. The king Ammon. One of us could be a spark of the king Chizkiyahu. Rav Chaim Vital, for example, was a Mishorsh Nishamat Chizkiyahu HaMelech. They said about the Baba Sali, he was the source of his soul was a spark of Chizkiyahu HaMelech. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, before he passed away, he said, make a chair for who? Chizkiyahu HaMelech. It's a Mishnah. The Ari says, what do you mean make a chair for Chizkiyahu HaMelech? He saw his root soul coming to take him. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. A person has to learn this limud for one reason and one reason only. You have to be able to reach a level where you could know what's your root soul. Once you know your root soul, you have the key to unlock all the mysteries of your life. That's why Shar Gilgulim is all the chapters are called introductions. Then, after a person finishes his nefesh v'nishlama, ein haruach shela nichnas ba, the ruach cannot go inside. Kevan shelo nitkan hanefesh al yedei gilgul. If a person, let's say Aaron, finishes the 30% of what Moshe couldn't finish with the nefesh, the ruach cannot go inside Aharon, even though he finished the nefesh. Why can the ruach go inside of Aharon? He finished the nefesh. He finished this. Aaron was the one who finished it. How come he can't get the ruach? The ruach cannot go inside Aharon because Aharon finished the nefesh through a gilgul. The ruach could only go inside a person with a nefesh if he didn't fix the nefesh with a gilgul. Once you fix the nefesh with a gilgul, you can never get your ruach in that same gilgul. Yes. Understand? I don't want to say that, but person has to pass away to get the ruach now.
No D words.
Okay, we don't say the D word. Im lo bedoch gadol. There is only one scenario where a person could get his ruach through a gilgul. That means all of us over here, we can never get our ruach. Im lo bedoch gadol, which is going to explain right now. Velachen, unfortunately, tzarich sheyipater min haolam. Person has the D word. He has to go das vidania. That D word you could say. ותחזור הנפש להתגלגל ואז תזכה לרוח שלה. And then, once Aharon passes away, you finish the 30% of the nefesh, then he comes back, let's say, as David. The nefesh is fixed, and he will be born automatically with what? The ruach. Did you understand, Gabriel?
The nefesh that he has completed is not a full nefesh.
Right.
I didn't say he needs a full...
No, he doesn't need a full nefesh. All he needs is the part that he fixed. Now, it could be that the 70% combines with that 30% and will go inside David to be a cup, a holder for the ruach who's not fixed yet. Okay? But the whole point is, Aaron Bechareki over here, he was the one who worked the most. He was the one who fixed the 30%. What does he end up with? The least, Olam Haba, than all three of them. David gets the most. He gets the nefesh already fixed, and he gets the ruach as he's born. This guy over here, he messed up the most, Moshe. But at least he wakes up with 70% of the nefesh. Right?
With the ruach, no?
He doesn't get the ruach. Oh, he didn't fix the nefesh. No, he doesn't get the ruach. He didn't fix the nefesh. Why should he get the ruach?
He can come back to fix it. No, that's what's happening.
But he passed away. What did he come back as? As Aharon. He's a new guy now.
Okay, but
You see, you're
when
thinking...
the Neshamot are going back, it's one place. They're in one place.
What do you mean it's one
We're
place?
talking about now, this is a physical world. You have two people. But once it's finished, it goes back and it's...
But then it's not fair because this body that worked, Moshe's body, he also worked for something. Why doesn't he, according to you, he shouldn't wake up in Olam Haba? Who should wake up in Olam Haba? The guy who fixes the end. Right? But it's not fair to the other bodies.
So each individual have to get whatever he worked.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
physical being.
The physical being. In Hasidic sources, the physical being has a higher source than the soul. In Hasidic sources. I don't want to get into it right now. Okay? Let's continue. ואז תזכה לרוח שלה. ואם יתקן גם הרוח, and then if he fixes the ruach, listen, everybody has to get his payday at the end of the day. Everybody gets his payday.
There's a cheshbon elyon.
Yeah, it's a cheshbon of Hashem. Don't worry, Hashem will give you every person's schar he will get at the end of the day. Every person gets his reward. Okay? Every time, when a person does a chesed, look at this week's parasha, Avraham Avinu. How many nisyonot he had? How many tests did Avraham Avinu have? 10 nisyonot. Why did he have 10 nisyonot?
10 sfirot.
10 sfirot. Yeah. Why 10? We learned in the world of Asiyah, you have to reach which sfira when you fix your neshama? You got to reach the keter. Every test that he had, and he achieved greatness, he won, he passed the test, he went up a level, till the Akedah. Could you imagine who Avraham Avinu was? And the Brit Milah was one of the tests. Right or wrong?
So that was in Nefesh? He was still in Nefesh?
Of course.
Until he got the Brit Milah?
Yeah, until he got his Brit Milah. Could you imagine? Avraham Avinu did not fix his Nefesh until he had his Brit Milah. But don't worry, he lived till 175. He had another 100 years left. another 75 years left, okay? Yitzhak was already born with a Brit, right? Not born, he had a Brit when he was 8 years old. Okay? But could you imagine what Avraham Avinu went through? He was thrown into the fire, huh?
8 days.
8 days.
Yeah, 8 days. And what did Hashem tell Avraham? Your children will suffer, but don't worry, you're going to be buried b'seva tova. You're going to be buried with a seva tova. Many tzaddikim, they didn't want to see their offsprings go off the derech. They wished for an early death. Avraham Avinu passed away early, 5 years early, not to see Esav go off the derech. And the day that he died, Esav went off the derech. And not just went off the derech. That same day he killed somebody, he did avodah zarah, and he was with an engaged woman. That's the trifecta. He hit all three of them. The same day that Avraham Avinu passes away.
Is there a difference for him? Any
for Esav, the Gemara says that Esav is a Yisrael Mumar. The din of Esav
comes back.
Yeah, and according to the Ariya Kadosh, on the day that Yosef HaTzadik disappeared, and when Yaakov was crying, and he was crying that day, he was also trying to fix Esav's neshama, because Esav and Yosef are very interconnected, right? Who's going to destroy Esav at the end? Yosef, not Yehuda, right? Vaya bet Esav lekash, vaya bet Yosef lehava. Who will be the spark to light the fire of Esav? Yosef. Like David HaMelech, when R.Shalom was killed, he cried out, Avshalom beni, 7 times to take Avshalom out of Gehenom. Yaakov tried to do the same thing with Esav. Remember, they were twin brothers.
He still was alive.
Who? But we're going to learn that a person can go to Gehenom even while he's alive. Unfortunately. Okay? Let's continue. A person fixes also his ruach. Now let's say David, he was born with a nefesh and the ruach, right? He fixes the ruach, let's say. He can't get the neshama and that Gilgul. He has to pass away, come back as the 4th person, let's call it Yosef, and he'll come back this time with a neshama. Same thing like the other ruach. And Hashem waits, don't worry, Hashem has a lot of patience. Hashem could wait many gilgulim until the first person finishes his ruach, his nefesh with the ruach, v'az yamut adam, the person passes away, v'yachzor v'yitgalgel ha-nefesh v'ha-ruach v'gam ha-neshama ad shitaknu shloshtam, until all 3 will get fixed. V'az ein lo tzorech od yitgalgel klal. Once a person fixes his neshama, ki biyot gam neshama nitkenet, harei hu adam shalem kenoda. Once a person fixes the neshama, he's considered a complete person. And you don't have to come back and a gilgul anymore. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Huh?